Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. This segment is sponsored by Thinking Man Tavern, a cozy Decatur neighborhood pub. Grab a tasty beverage from a wide variety of selections and a plate of something delicious from the menu. To go, check out Thinking Man Tavern. Guys, welcome to another episode of Five Stripe Weekly. I am AJ, this is Marc, and we are joined by two absolute legends of Atlanta United soccer. It is Michael Parkhurst and Greg Garza. Of course, Parky, he would just rattle off his just accolades. But 15 years of soccer. But I want to, so please allow me. But 10 years in MLS, 5 in Europe, MLS Rookie of the Year, Defender of the Year, Best 11, 6-time MLS All-Star, and MLS Cup Champion, of course. And Greg Garza, playing since the age of 12, away from home. Definitely a nomad of soccer, but an amazing one, and of course, an MLS Cup champion as well. And you guys, please, round of applause, Marc and I. Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for making it.
Thank you guys.
My pleasure.
Indeed. But guys, let's start off with a little bit of maybe a softball, thoughts on the Atlanta United 2021 season. Parky, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that it came to a good end, right? It was a struggle there at the beginning. I'm glad the club made the decision to cut ties with Gabby. Just wasn't working out. It wasn't the right fit, and that's a tough decision to make. But you rather make it sooner rather than later. They saved the season, gave Rob Valentino enough time to turn things around. And now the coaching staff is a great hiring. And the team seems to be playing better. They seem to be playing for each other and enjoying their soccer. And it's good that they're in the playoffs. Atlanta United, that's for me, it's the minimum, right, to make the playoffs every year. We're a bigger club than that with bigger aspirations. But after last year and the start to this year, it's good that they're back in the playoffs. So I'm excited to see them play in a couple weeks. Yeah,
we're playing away, but are you gonna go to NYC to go see them, or?
Actually, I'm going to be down in Atlanta for the game. I'm going down to do a camp that Monday and Tuesday, and I was so mad last weekend that Philly did not beat New York City.
Oh my gosh!
If we had hosted a playoff game, I was going to be there, and I was looking forward to it. Mm-hmm. So don't get me started, Philly. Stakes.
Indeed. But Greg, what were your thoughts on the 2021 season?
If you would have asked me that the very first 10 to 15 games of the season, I probably would have told you all hell broke loose. I think for myself, even personally, it was bittersweet to watch the beginning of the season because I think just coming off of retirement, not really wanting to watch soccer personally at all. Just keeping in touch with the scores, keeping in touch with the news, just to keep up to date with everything. But then after a while, I did make it down to the stadium a few times to watch some games as the season went on, and was quite thrilled. I actually went to the first few games when I think we found our missing piece, which was Luis Araujo. And I think when that signing happened, I think that's really when everything started to truly turn around. Obviously, Parky mentioned Rob Valentino doing things to turn things around, but at the same time, Gonzalo coming in. But I think, in my personal opinion, it was really the missing piece of when Luis came and really took a lot of weight off of Barco's shoulders, and maybe the pressure that he had on his shoulders coming in, and I think everybody waiting for him to truly perform at the rate that we wanted him to. And I think when Luis came in, it really just allowed Barco to just spark off, and this is the best I've ever seen him play. And they've really, Parky and I talk about it all the time. It's, you look back at that 2017-2018 season, you look at the front three, front four, and any team we were playing, people were pooping bricks. I'll say that. Looking at those guys coming at you, and you kind of get that sensation, you get that feeling now with looking at the front three, front four right now. You get those same vibes as well. So pretty proud of them for making the playoffs. Like I said, from the off of what the first 10, 15 games were, and I think they could have a run at it.
Yeah, I mean, let's get a prediction from you guys already. 2021 MLS Cup Playoffs. Where does LA United land at the end of the season? As champions, or do they go out in a certain round? Parky.
I don't know. Honestly, I think they couldn't have gotten a worse draw. Away to New York City, I think is one of the toughest games. And then,
well, you guys did it.
I know. It's not impossible, obviously, but it is the toughest place to play away, I think, in MLS. And New York City is a very good team. Mm-hmm. I think if we win that game, it has to be like 1-0. We just don't play well there, right? When we won there 1-0 in the playoffs, it was like we had the mentality of like, we are going to be a pain in the ass to play against. We are going to sit and try and counter and just be a pain in the ass. And we didn't have to win the game, right? It was 2 legs. But it's so tough to play there. And we just usually don't play well there. Away teams usually don't. I mean, Philly couldn't win last week, and they had a man up for 80 minutes. It's just tough. I hate the draw, but our defense is playing real well. Obviously the guys in the counterattack, and Josef can do anything any day. So hopefully he can get a little bit of magic so we can get out of there. But it's going to be a tough one.
Okay, yeah. Greg.
Yeah, I think if we can get past that first game, then we probably have a huge chance of making the finals. I think that's the most difficult game right there. Parky said it. It's so hard to play at that stadium, especially if you're an outside back playing half the time on a fake field. So I think that just those games at that stadium. I mean, you've seen it before. It can be 7-5. It can be 5-2. It can be 0-0. You never know what you're going to get at that stadium. So unfortunately, a bad draw, but I think if we are able to get that first win away and move on to the next round, then big things might happen.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, is that a smaller pitch on the sidelines just acts as that extra man, just makes it that much more difficult to, play into space, right? And but I think there's a lot of hope because we were one of the best dribbling teams. One of the best teams at taking on players, and we have a lot of guys, especially that front four, that could break down a NYCFC. I think there's maybe hope yet, but because it's a little bit different, right? Like Miggy, Tito, they need a lot of space, but these players, they can operate in tight spaces.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. I mean, Moreno's one of the best one-on-one dribblers in the league. So, I mean, front four are going to need to be good, right? They're going to need to attack with just the 4 of them sometimes because we're probably going to be sitting deep a lot, and those front 4 are going to have to sometimes take the game on their own, and they can do it, but they're going to have to.
Yeah, and so there was. Yeah, go ahead, Marc.
So then, do you foresee the front 4, the big 4, BAM as we like to call them? Do you see them all starting? I guess versus NYC to start with.
I would think so. For me, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to play your best players. And those are your best players. And even if you think, hey, we might absorb some pressure at some point. You can defend with the other 7. Pretty stoutly on that small field, and hope that the front 4, front 3, whatever it is, can do enough to create a few chances and get Josef or somebody else on the scoreboard.
Yeah,
to me, that's the science behind of being a successful MLS team. You need 7, 8 guys that are going to do the absolute, balls to the wall work for your team, and then you need those 3 guys that can change a game in a split second. So, we definitely have those guys this year, and I'd say all of them have to play.
Yeah. And speaking of guys who can change a game in a split second, Josef Martinez, he pretty much changed at least our playoff position a little bit with that ridiculous golazo, in that last match. And Parky, you're known on Twitter right now as just a Twitter fiend. You're constantly tweeting some hot fire, and it is like one of those things where Josef Martinez, he's getting a lot of flack kind of this season. I mean, he's just returned from the ACL injury this season, and 12 goals in 24 games is a really healthy return. Did you see any of the hate? And what do you feel about that?
I didn't see too much. No, I mean, I think any of that would be coming from anyone that's giving him hate is not a true fan or watch many games or anything like that. To see what he's gone through, it wasn't just a normal ACL, where, you see Paul Arriola come back, much before Josef. Josef had complications, he had other surgeries.
Yep.
It was a bit of a disaster there for a little bit. So to see what he's gone through and come back, and then, the team, to be quite frank, until recently, wasn't as good as it had been in the past. He didn't have Gressel whipping balls into him and giving him those chances. Lennon is great out there on the wing, but he doesn't serve the ball like Gressel. And obviously, no one is Miggy. So there's that too. There's more falling on Josef's shoulders, and that's a big responsibility. We put a lot on his shoulders, right? I mean, those other guys chip in goals here and there, but if Josef doesn't score, even in the playoffs, right? If he doesn't score, the odds of us winning are very low, right? And that's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and to go out and score 12 goals, after playing, I don't know how many, 24 games you said?
24 games, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so good. Castellanos won the Golden Boot with 18?
Yeah, 18, 19, exactly, yeah.
Something like that. So
if he played a full season?
That's a really good season, especially coming back from what he did. So, I mean, we're not in the playoffs without him, and we don't have success in the playoffs unless he plays well.
Right. And so, speaking of success in the playoffs, let's just go to happy times. 2018. I mean, I think a catalyst in that playoff, definitely, I think, was you, Greg Garza, coming back healthy before the playoffs started, and that was huge in order to kind of solidify our defense. And definitely, it was. I think that's the start where we started to get on a roll, and we figured out how we needed to play in order to pretty much I think not only shithouse our way through some of the games, but it was definitely, I think, a way of with Tata Martino, did you guys, was there an honest actual shift that Tata made to kind of maybe adapt to teams?
I think our ultimate lesson there for that, like you said, catalyst playoff run was the thrashing that we had from Toronto.
Yeah.
And not winning the Shield. So to me, I think that was our biggest lesson for all of us, and kind of really, maybe without that, we who knows what would have happened. I think all in all, we finished that game. We got home and really looked at each other and said, okay, this is game on, right? We know our responsibilities. We know we have the team to go all the way. And for me, that was definitely our huge lesson of that season, and really led into a very successful playoff run, and obviously the cup.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember, leading up to the playoffs, we actually trained the back 5 plus 1 for the first time ever. Like everything with Tata was like working on offense. You know,
Right.
even if it was like building up out of the back, you know, and it was still on the offensive side of the ball. We rarely ever did anything defensively. And then before the playoffs, we actually like did a bunch of sessions where it was like the back five plus the holding mid just absorbing pressure and shifting and moving and working on things and position stuff. And it was so helpful. I mean, we went into the playoffs. What did we get? 1 goal in the playoffs?
Yeah,
2 maybe?
yeah.
Yeah, right.
And definitely, yeah, you know, against
Yeah, we gave up 1 goal, and then
Yeah.
the second one was against the Red Bulls in like the 90th
Right.
minute.
Yeah.
The
Which
second
was a
leg.
foul, I think. It was, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
call that shit out. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, exactly. And so, you know, and you, Parky, you had a tremendous game in the MLS Cup final. That, that loose ball that Josef Martinez put away for that first goal. I mean, it's just, I mean, you guys put Atlanta on the map in terms of, you know, championships in the 2000s. There's a little bit of, Atlanta Braves fans and whatnots that have currently, they're like, oh yeah, we haven't won one since 1995. The city is starved for championships, but how are you guys feeling about you know, them omitting Atlanta United in 2018?
Yeah, I think being in Atlanta and listening to the radio or, you know, watching the news or reading the newspapers, it was definitely a bittersweet moment, I think, for not only Atlanta United fans, but also for myself, you know, and all of us who are a part of, you know, our glory days, I guess you can say, of, you know, waking up in the morning and that's all I want to do is we're just listening to the radio when I'm, you know, driving in the car, and understanding that, you know, a lot of the, you know, sports radio guys were talking so much about, you know, waiting so long for the city to win something, or waiting so long for the city to have a certain parade. And I definitely wanted to jump on a call and just speak myself and, you know, say that we offered that a few years ago. But, you know, I can also understand both sides of the spectrum, or both ends of the spectrum as well. You know, it's you know, Braves being as old as they are and waiting for so long to win something. I think, you know, if you're an Atlanta fan in general of all sports teams, you're pretty lucky right now. I mean, you have cities that wait years and years and years and years for absolutely nothing, and you know, within a span of 3-4 years, you get 2 championships on your belt. So proud of the city for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Park, you have any quick thoughts on that?
I mean, I think the majority of the fans in Atlanta, I mean, dude, we used to get 45 or 70,000 consistently.
Yeah.
You know, whenever we wanted to, and that's honestly, it's more than the other team in the building. So, I mean, you know, soccer's not a top 4 sport yet. You know, catching hockey quick, but that's probably what they're meaning. You know, the top 4, you know, major sports. But I don't get into it. You know, like they do what they want. It's not taking our trophy away. That's for sure.
Very true.
Indeed. I wanna talk about celebrations, and I think Greg, I think there's an interesting one that you've done a lot, which is the Ronaldo celebration. Is your favorite player? Is it like is it?
No,
is it
I've
even the Ronaldo?
actually no. To be honest, I didn't even realize it. I think that's the only time I've ever done that.
Yeah.
I mean, I only had I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 goals in my career anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, actually before that game, I was actually watching his documentary on the way to the game. So that could have been maybe what was in my subconscious right after that goal. Yep. So I mean, gosh, if there is one thing I would not do ever, it would probably be the Ronaldo goal. or the Ronaldo celebration, because I probably would scorn any other player that would be doing it, and say, what the hell is this guy doing? But I think it was probably just somewhat in my subconscious, and I think of just feeling motivated, and also the Champions League final was on that day as well. And I believe Madrid won it that day. Was he still with Madrid? Yeah.
I think he was.
I think
2017.
Yeah. When you scored it in Vancouver.
And I think we were also we were also watching that as well. So, and I was watching the documentary on the way there, and then I think when we got to the stadium in Vancouver, we were watching the Champions League final as well. So a lot of Ronaldo in my subconscious. There you go. Yeah.
When we score goals, we like black out.
I have no idea. What the hell we're doing. That's exactly
because yours,
right.
you just like kind of like, that just stood at midfield, and you're like, like just look at me. But speaking of Champions League, Parker, you've had the distinct pleasure of playing in Champions League against the likes of Shakhtar Donetsk, Chelsea, which is Marc's favorite team, and Juventus. Who was the toughest player that you played against?
I played right back 5 out of the 6 games. I had to slot in at center back for one game when our center back got injured in warm-ups, and that one game was away to Chelsea, and I had to play against Fernando Torres. And he was a beast. Oh my gosh. This guy was so tough to play against. He was so big and strong, fast, smart. I mean, he crushed me. He crushed all of us.
All those guys are just absolutely massive. I mean, whenever you do play against those guys, especially at the international level, it's just I feel so tiny. I don't know what they do in Europe, man, but all those guys, I mean, it doesn't matter what country they're from, they're all just, legs are massive. I mean, it's just probably they've just been in the academy since they're 7-8 years old, and they're bred into just these monsters, man. So must be that.
Yeah, definitely must be something in the water, or whatever it is. But I
was eating Sonic chili cheese fries before driving an hour and a half every day.
Good old American diet.
When I was like 9 years old, man. So been getting Steak and Shake on the way back. So must be that, man.
Comfort foods.
Exactly. Yeah, and Parker, you don't have that much time left, so I mean, we need to talk about how you went out as a champion. In the 2019 season, won 2 trophies as well for LA United, and how was it like to pretty much go out on top? Was it like a conscious decision, or was it just you felt like I don't feel like running anymore, like Forrest Gump?
Yeah, I kind of knew it was coming. I think that preseason of 2019, coming off the Cup, and then a short off season, and then getting ready for Champions League. That preseason, my legs have never felt that way before. Like I could, my mind was telling my feet to move, and my feet were like a couple seconds behind. And it happens really often in preseason. That preseason, I thought, holy smokes! Like I can't react to anything. Like what is going on? I felt so slow. And it took me all of preseason to kind of get up to speed. And I thought I had a good season overall. I mean, obviously I was in and out of the lineup a little bit. But I was happy. It was unfortunate, right? Miles gets injured. I get to come back in and play a bit. So it was fortunate for me to be able to end my career playing, and, we almost won the Cup again. I was happy to go out on top. I told myself I didn't want to be one of those guys that, tries to play as long as possible and ends up, playing a little bit too long. And, I don't want that last memory of me being like, oh, man, he should have left a year or two ago, shit. I feel proud of my last few games and how I played and stuff. So, happy I went out when I did. And then, obviously next year was COVID hit, and no part of me wanted to be doing what those guys were doing that year. So it was, a blessing for me, because no part of me regretted it watching that season.
Yeah, and especially with in the 2019 season, Josef Martinez, he kneels in front of you after he scores. Such a beautiful moment. I mean, what was going through your head when? Did he like plan that? Did he tell you like?
No, he didn't tell me. I mean, Joseph and I have a good relationship. We became closer that last year for sure. I mean, we've always had a good relationship. He's a special guy, and he can rub some people the wrong way because he's really passionate, similar to most South Americans, right? They wear their emotions on their sleeve. They can't help themselves sometimes. It's just like, sometimes you just tell them, like, chill the heck out a little bit. But he means well. He wants the best for the team, and he demands a lot from the team, and he'll let you know if you're not giving enough, or you're not giving what he needs, or what the team needs. And that was really cool. Obviously, it was a huge thing of respect, obviously, between the two of us, and he's my guy, so that was cool.
Yeah, no, he shows you the love on Twitter as well. He's always like, my motherfucking captain. So you can definitely feel it for sure. And Greg, I mean, you got quite a good warm reception when you returned with FC Cincy. What was that? Did you anticipate? Or
no,
were you?
No, I did not anticipate a standing ovation to come on the field. I think pretty much sums up my career of just so many ups and downs, with a lot of injuries, but at the same time, fighting through adversity, being resilient, and I think at the same time I was also coming off an injury there when I was able to come back to Atlanta that first time. Had just gotten called into the national team, didn't have any rest in the off season, went straight from winning the cup and going into the national team once again, pulling my quad, and then trying to recover in Cincinnati, and then just coming on to that game was something pretty special. I had absolutely no idea it was going to be that remarkable, but definitely one of the coolest memories of my career. I think just for all of us that was a part of that team, so fortunate to do something so special for the city. But I think just that particular team, in general, just we had something else with not only just the first part of it, but just with not just both stadiums, but just with the community. I think all of us felt that love within the community, and I think we all gave back to the community in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
I was an ambassador for a lot of different things within the city, and did a lot of different things, from speaking with troubled children at middle schools and high schools, or always looking to find ways to help out, whether Parky and I did the Humane Society stuff, just a lot of different cool things that really connected us to what this city offers. And I think that's probably what made it feel even more special, and getting that standing ovation was just that connection I had particularly with this city. And today I live here and call this my home, man. So proud to be I've never had a home sweet home in my whole entire life. So The longest place I've lived somewhere has been 12 years, and those are the first 12 years of my life. And after that, I've been, like you said, a nomad. I call myself a gypsy. But this is finally a place to where I definitely feel a strong connection with, and definitely a home sweet home for me right now.
Yeah, I speak for, I'm sure, all of Atlanta as the Atlanta United fans, that we absolutely love both of you guys. I mean, you guys have been just stand-up, not only citizens, but players, representing Atlanta. And, we can't love you guys enough. And I wonder, with Josef Martinez, all the build a statue talk, should the statue be where Josef is kneeling in front of you, Parky, and then Garza is doing his Ronaldo celebration. Like that would be amazing.
He needs his own.
Yeah. Not with us or any of us there, man.
So, with the real reason why you guys are here, you guys have a new venture together. It's called Beyond Goals Mentoring. It's a holistic approach to helping athletes get better through mentoring. I would love to, have you guys talk about it and, what you're wanting to achieve for the community.
Yeah, I think the idea came about because Greg and I think, connect with athletes in the Atlanta area before we started this business. I started mentoring an Atlanta United Academy player, and some of the stuff we would talk about and even the parents would ask about, and it just got me thinking, like, if he's asking this and they're asking this as parents, like, what are other kids, who are they asking, who are their parents asking? Anything from confidence issues to my son got cut from a team and he doesn't want to play anymore to, do I need to be playing academy soccer versus club team, or what's the difference? Or, when you get higher up the ladder, talking about college versus signing a homegrown deal, or, there's so many different issues dealing with agents, and there's so much more pressure on kids these days than there was when Greg and I was growing up. We were all playing 2 sports, 3 sports, whatever, just out there having fun. And now kids are signing pro contracts when they're 16, 17. Agents are calling these parents and kids when they're 14, 15 years old. It's just a whole different ballgame. And, parents aren't equipped to answer all the questions and know everything, right? It's really difficult. And the landscape of soccer is constantly changing with all the different leagues, and so we felt like there was a gap out there, and we wanted to try and fill it and help some kids that were going through some tougher times with whatever they're going through, or had questions, or parents that didn't know where to turn to for answers, to be there for them and give them an unbiased opinion of what worked for us, what we saw, and use our knowledge that we've gained throughout our soccer lives.
Yeah, Greg.
And Parky really nailed it. I think at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to help these kids reach their full potential, not only as players on the field, but as players or as people off the field. I think, in my personal life, I was very fortunate to have, such a good family structure, and parents that really pushed me and made so many sacrifices. I mean, if you look at it, leaving home at such a young age, having my mom move with me the very first years of being out of the house, and just so many sacrifices that I had made, in particular, and having other mentors and other guides that really paved the way of, knowing the rights and wrongs, the do's, the don'ts, of just every stage of my career, and ultimately making it to that highest level, but still using those lessons and those critical components and tools of what it is to hold yourself accountable every single day, at the highest level. And for us, being able to have so much success within our careers and doing it in so many different places, and now being able to share that expertise and share that experience, share that wisdom with other kids, and letting them have someone that they can relate to, because guess what, we have been there, we've done that, we've been in their shoes at one point in time, and we're able to look at them and without that intimidation factor, right? And just see them eye to eye and face to face and say, hey, we're here for you guys, and whatever that may be, and also teach them the right tools that they can continue to use to reach their full potential. Whether that's going pro, I always tell the parents and the players, then that'll be our best testimony, right? If these kids are able to go pro one day and say, hey, we had these particular people in our lives to really guide us and help us, but at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to help these kids, just be better people and also be better players in the best way that they can be.
Yeah, you guys are amazing, and you guys can audience-wise, you can check it out at beyondgoalsmentoring.com and also on Instagram at instagram.com/beyondgoalsmentoring or at beyondgoalsmentoring. Anywhere else that they can find?
Not yet. We're working on the rest of it. Eventually Twitter will be up and running. We've got some other ideas on the pipeline, but yeah, for now, it's probably beyondgoalsmentoring.com.
Awesome. Yes, definitely check it out if you are a young athlete in Atlanta or whereabouts. I mean, pretty much, I guess, obviously you're going to be doing it from Columbus, so it could be anywhere, right?
Do that, absolutely.
Yep.
That's awesome. But guys, we're going to wrap it up. Absolute massive thank yous to the two legends, Michael Parkhurst, Greg Garza. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been amazing. And yeah, for Marc, I'm AJ. Remember, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.